Some analytical observations now from Mort Kondracki, executive editor of Roll Call, Mara Liasson, national political correspondent of National Public Radio, and the syndicated columnist Charles Krauthammer, Fox News contributors all. Let's look at some polls. Fresh polls out today from Quinnipiac University, a pretty reliable poll. And look at this. In the Republican presidential field, and this covers... Look at the difference between February 21st, when Rudy Giuliani was leading 40-18 over McCain, and Fred Thompson was not even a dream in the eyes of any Republicans. Now down 13 points in the last couple of months. McCain holding roughly steady, and Fred Thompson with 14, looking as if he were the man who inherited all the support that Giuliani appears, at least in this poll, to have lost. Let's look at the matchups of these Republican candidates against possible Democratic contenders. First, against Hillary Clinton. Each of the top two, Giuliani and McCain, both beat Senator Clinton in this poll. Fred Thompson does not. Of course, he's not even declared a candidate yet. Against Barack Obama, it is a somewhat similar picture, although it looks a little tighter. Giuliani narrowly over Obama, McCain tied with Obama, and Fred Thompson losing to Obama. So what does all this tell us about this? Oh, and one more, just for the fun of it. Al Gore, let's assume he gets in the race. Giuliani beats him, McCain beats him. Thompson does not. Now, that's a fair fight there between two unannounced candidates, 37 to 47. All right. So as they go into their debate tonight, the first they have at the Reagan Library, what do we think the state of this race actually is? Has Giuliani really taken a haircut?
I think so. I think there has been some diminution of the rocket ship Giuliani that was soaring. And this suggests, as we've all said any number of times, that conservatives are looking for somebody else. And here's this guy, Thompson, comes along and gets 14% of the vote in this poll, while 65% or so of the electorate doesn't even know who he is. 65% of the electorate also doesn't know who Mitt Romney is, but he's still down in single digits. So, you know, now Thompson hasn't declared, he hasn't made his case. People don't know anything about him. He is just the guy filling a hole in the wishes of the conservative base, I think.
Look, Republicans are acting completely out of character this year, which is what makes this race so interesting. I mean, Bill Clinton likes to say that Democrats like to fall in love with their candidates and Republicans like to fall in line behind a front runner, and they can't figure out who's the front runner or who they want to be the front runner, except for they know it's probably not someone in the race right now. But I think that to me, the Fred Thompson effect comes right out of Giuliani. Giuliani was the latest thing that came along that was going to solve conservative problems. They learned a little bit more about him. Now they've latched onto someone who's not even in the race and who at least has played a president on television. I think this race is extremely unsettled.
Wide open.
Wide open.
Giuliani took a haircut, but it was only a $100 haircut. It's not a major one yet. This is pretty early. Yeah, of course, Thompson represents the sort of uneasiness with the top-tier candidates. But what's so interesting is that if you look at the generic, if you ask in a poll, which isn't asked here, would you elect a Democrat or a Republican as president? The Democrats have a 9-point lead, which is reflecting sort of unhappiness with the Bush administration. That's clear. But then, as you showed a little earlier, if you put a name and a face on this, and it's no longer a generic, Giuliani and McCain wipe out that deficit of 9 points, and they actually end up ahead of Clinton or an Obama, which tells you that this uneasiness that Republicans have with the top tier, I think, is fairly unwarranted. These guys at the top, Giuliani and McCain and Romney as well, I think I could live with any of them. They're all presidential, and they're all strong, and I think it shows in how they flip the generic number once you attach a poll to their name and face.
But Charles, the Republicans aren't unsettled because they don't think these guys can beat Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama. They're unsettled because they don't feel that any of them fit the kind of bill of the traditional conservative profile that they're looking for.
I think they ought to have a little less angst with these candidates, that they are all historically of a fairly high caliber.
Let me ask this question. There's all this excitement, or at least potential excitement, about a Thompson candidacy. On the stage, in the debate, there's a Thompson. But it's not Fred Thompson.
No, it's
Tommy Thompson of Wisconsin.
Will be confused.
Well, what effect does that have?
He could rocket up in the polls.
Or he could send Thompson, or he could do badly and send Fred Thompson's ratings down.
Well, I didn't know he looked like that.
Well,
Right.
Actually, Fred Thompson is in California, or he's going to California tomorrow, and make a speech to the Orange County Republicans. He's not going to be on the debate stage tonight, but he's going to make his debut, I guess, in California.
So he'll presumably get up and say, depending on how it went last night,
I'm the real Ronald Reagan. They're all going to be
Thompson in this race?
Well, they're all going to be Ronald Reagan. They're all going to try to be Ronald Reagan
tell the
tonight.
truth, right?
Yeah, right.
I'm Ronald Reagan, right?
Next up with